Welcome back to another Thursday Night Live here with the Jewish Platform. I've made many great discoveries, but by far the greatest discovery that I've made was finding the amazing Yaakov Berger. And tonight we have the privilege of having Yaakov Berger here on set with us tonight. Yaakov, how you doing?
We are live, right?
Yaakov, you always got to do this. All right.
If
Calm down.
If you are watching this, please call your local law enforcement agency. Boruch coerced me into coming and doing this. I really...
No, we agreed upon it.
No, we didn't agree on anything. He hasn't fed me in days.
No, Yaakov. We were supposed to do last Thursday night, but you're not here since then.
If you can hear me, please. Ma, don't throw out my stuff yet. I will get out of here one day, I promise you. Boruch, hey, you're right here.
How's it going, Yaakov?
Good to see you.
Guys, let me tell you something about Yaakov. Yaakov is that one that always, every time on set, and he's acted for me, of course, now on Desperate Measures, and before that on The Skull of a Genius, but also all these little gigs that he does for me all the time. Yaakov always lights up. Whether it's the WhatsApp chat, whether it's on set, before set, or wherever we're doing.
Speaking of lighting up, why isn't there a fire here?
Yeah, right. So we were going to light the fire.
What fire? Oh, there is no fire.
We were going to light the fire up, and then we decided it's about 70 degrees. We're not going to light the fire
and
up.
we don't want to revisit the Skull of a Genius sitting here in, I don't know how humid or hot it was outside, and sitting here. We actually discussed this on the
interview.
In the interview, we talked about how hot it was in here. But anyways, I'm sorry, you were
exactly for those that didn't realize. Yeah.
Please continue pumping up my ego. It's getting very.
I'm done.
Oh, you done?
I'm done. You interrupted the flow.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
For those that don't remember, for those that have or haven't watched The Skull of a Genius, this is where we filmed the scene that's inside the
bedroom, in the hotel, in the inn.
In the inn.
In the inn.
In the inn.
In the
inn, that scene.
In the inn, yeah.
So how did I discover Yaakov Berger? Yaakov is a professional voiceover artist. Narrator. What else do we call that?
A voice actor, perhaps?
Voice actor.
A voice over, you said that already. There's not multiple choice.
Voice under?
Right, voice under. If actually, it's interesting because it's not really voice under, but if I'm not in studio, I will actually go under my bed and do recordings because the sound is much more muffled under there. I mean, you can say that it's the carpet is absorbed. You're about 6 inches from the bottom of the bed to the floor. So it really absorbs the sound very well. So
cool. Wait a minute. You mean to say when we hear your whatever it is you're recording?
I'm usually under the bed.
The Chafetz Chaim Heritage Foundation. You're under your bed.
Under the bed, yes.
Does it ever happen that your wife comes down starts vacuuming under the bed while you're doing a recording?
No, because I'm the one that vacuums in the house.
Okay. So, make a quick story short, I needed a borsa. I needed an actor for The Skull of a Genius, and I was desperately trying to find somebody, and suddenly I was going through somebody's status, Moshe Schindler. Great Moshe Schindler, great Mint Media. I was looking at his status, and I see this guy, Yaakov Berger, was just doing his voiceover, but you weren't just talking, doing a voiceover. You were acting it out.
So, if I may interject, this is when I tell people that the hashgacha of how we actually met. So we're not going to go into the entire the long version that I tell people the hashgacha of how I got to meet Baruch Goldberger, who hired me for Reb Shlomo Kanievsky to do the voiceover, and then you got to me,
And then you got me connected to Baruch Goldberger.
Baruch Goldberger, Bani Olam, and everything, right. So
I'm doing another job for him on Sunday.
The hashgacha is amazing, and just how everything, and once we're discussing it, just because for the sake of, it's really kedai to hear just the hashgacha of how everything evolved. Baruch Goldberger had called me. Okay, incidentally, I've been doing voiceovers for 20 years. I'm not trying to pump myself or anything, but just, I've been doing it for about 20 years, Baruch Hashem. Thank you, Hashem.
We're going to get in about a second. We're going to get how you got into
Yes,
voiceovers.
sure. It was on 12 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and Baruch Goldberger, who was an alumnus of Rav Shalom Schachter's yeshiva, he called me up all desperate. Said, "Hi,
Desperate measures.
Desperate, of course. Everything's even a dad or skull of a genius. You're gonna hear these references throughout everything. I'm supposed to be looking over there, right?
Well, you can look at any of the cameras that you want. No, that's
Oh,
my
not that
camera.
one. I'm sorry. Okay,
That's
fine.
my camera.
That's your camera. I'm not gonna take away your camera. So it was a Friday afternoon. I was literally on the way out of the office, but I heard that he was very, very upset and he needed help with something. He told me that they were having the following night, Motzei Shabbos, they were having an event for Shalom Schachter's yeshiva. They were having a PowerPoint presentation, and the fellow that was in charge of it, he backed out, and they decided to reach out to Boruch, and he had never done anything like this before. He asked me that he needed help with voiceovers, and he provided me, not with an actual narration, but the script that he provided me with were the slides that were going to be presented at this PowerPoint presentation again the following night, Motzei Shabbos. I told him, Baruch, I said, don't worry about it. I said, we'll get through this. I actually stayed an extra hour at the office, so I worked it through with him, and it was a big success. And Baruch and I hit off very well, Baruch Hashem. Fast forward a few years later, Baruch Goldberger hires me to do a voiceover for Shlomo Kanievsky Shlita for his yeshiva. So, and this is where we get to what Baruch was talking about, and this to me was the most mind-boggling part of it all, because my character Borsa was the that was Borsa, right? So here I am, and it was like a 15-second or a half a minute clip that Moshe Schindler, Baruch Goldberger hired me for Shlomo Kanievsky. Moshe Schindler was in charge of the Yaakov production and so on. So Moshe Schindler, he posted this this half a minute clip of me doing a voiceover about Reb Shlomo Kanievsky really needs your help. His yeshiva Tiferes Tzion, the other yeshiva, they need your help. And Baruch is looking at this and he's like, you know what? That would make a perfect Borsa. And until this day, I'm like scratching my head, like, how is please, Reb Chaim Kanievsky's son, Maron Sar HaTorah, he really needs your help. And from there, Borsa.
and from all the films that I've made, I'm sorry, but Borsa is definitely the most evil character in all of them. I'm saying at the edge we had the mafia guys, we had the terrorists, Desperate Measures. If you don't watch it yet, I don't want any spoiler alerts.
Who was the bad guy in 180? I never saw that.
They're the terrorists over there.
180? There was terrorists? I never saw it. Okay.
But nobody yet had wanted to cut off the head of a 13-year-old kid to sacrifice it. So that was our Borsa. So you are a voiceover actor. Now, I know people, they leave Koilo, they say, I'm going to go into real estate, I'm going to go into Koilo again. Many different things. I've never even heard the concept of a voiceover actor. I mean, in the film world. How did you decide to go into voiceover acting, and how do you actually get there?
That's a good question. So the truth is that it's more of my second job, my hobby, if you will, which I really enjoy a lot. I met a lot of great people over the past many years. My main job.
From the great people.
You said that, not me. Yeah, of course. Baruch, come on. There's nobody like Baruch. There's nobody like Baruch, and I mean that in a positive way. Oh. Even though he hasn't fed me in a few days. Ayin La'el, see earlier. So I do work full time for a tzedakah organization, the Sephardic Food Fund. I've been there also for about 20 years. So what happened? So I used to do kiruv work for Project Gesher Lakewood Links. Or Lakewood Links Project Gesher.
I have no idea what
not necessarily in that order. And the kiruv organization. We do have that in Lakewood. So one day, the Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation called up the office and they spoke with one of the secretaries. Actually, her name was Mrs. Orna Saba. Give a lot of credit to her because this is what really propelled me to my voiceover career. And they asked if there's someone that could do the intros for their Chazak hotline. Meaning to say they had these 5-minute snippets every day they would play of various Rabbanim, Rebbitzins, and so on. So she threw my name out, and I got in contact, or Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation got in contact with me, and that was the beginning of it all, which was basically, it went something like to this extent. Today's shir is given by a rabbi or rebbetz and so on and so forth. In the previous year, we discussed this and this topic, and so I mean, obviously, I'm mixing up the words. It's been a while since I've seen the script, and that's where it really started. But it wasn't in a full capacity.
How old were you at the time? Were you married? Were you single? Or 20 years?
Yeah,
old?
I was married.
Married,
I was
right?
married. I was married already. It was just after we were zeichen to have our first child in 2000. 2000. It was about 2000, 2001, I think, when I started doing it. I forget.
20. He's 21 years old now.
You're not trying to date me here. I don't need.
No. But
Oh,
he just
he just
big move. He
hard.
just went to Eretz Yisrael this week.
Yeah, let's say about 20, 21 years. So I saw that I had a knack to do this. Again, this was, I was working at the Tzedakah organization. I mean, again, it's 20 years ago. Things happen. So much has happened since then. I got grayer, got new set of new jacket, new pair of pants. So many things have happened in the past 20 years. At any rate, where was I? There's a lot of ums here.
You're talking about the guest.
Yeah, but moving right along. So I saw that I had a knack for doing voiceovers. This is before I actually took lessons for it. So I actually spoke to my Rosh Hashiva. I lived in Riverdale by Rav Ramazban Shlita, and I told him about this interesting idea I had about doing voiceovers, and he gave me his blessings. And I went to Manhattan. I went to a studio that taught for radio and commercial, and I went there for the initial consult. They saw that I have what it takes. And there are different packages. So it was like, I think it was 8 lessons or 12 lessons. And obviously in the voiceover industry, with any industry you're always learning. You're always learning in every industry. And there's so much more that you can learn. I mean, I could have gone back to schooling for this and so on. 8 to 12 lessons later, it was enough for me to make my first demo. So the demo is the most important thing in the voiceover industry, because that really sells your product. And we had the demo. There was like 6 or 7 different styles of advertisements, if you will. And I sent it out to like 10 people. And
there was no WhatsApp in those days.
Nothing. No cell phones in those days. They didn't even have sliced bread. That's how far back we're talking about. No, so
So this was in 18 what?
This was in 18. Whatever. The first person that picked it up was Chaim Rosen. I sent it out to. I looked up one of the Lakewood pages or the telephone books, whatever, and I sent it out to people that were involved in making videos, weddings, videographers, and Chaim Rosen. At the time of the Chaim video, he was the first person. He picked it up and he called me about it. And interestingly enough, the first real voiceover gig that I did, one of the first ones, but it was a major one for me, was for Bunny Island. Chaim Rosen was at that time producing. At that time, going back 20 years, so Bunny
Island was even in existence 20 years ago.
Right. So Bunny Island has been in existence for about 21 plus years. They started off in Brooklyn. They about 20 years ago, again at that time, that time frame is when they started the Lakewood chapter. And Chaim Rosen had produced his first Bunny Island video was shown at Chateau Grand. Allah Shalom. I don't know if you remember what that is.
I don't even.
You know where Chateau, where Evergreen is now?
Chateau Park, right?
Evergreen, right?
Yeah,
so all the stores there now, that used to be a Chateau Grand, was a big catering hall. And Bunny Island had their first Lakewood dinner in Chateau Grand. I believe that was the name of the place. And Chaim Rosen showcased an amazing video on Bunny Island at the Rabbi Shul Leib Hill, the great Rabbi Hill. He narrated that first video. Then a couple of years after that, that's where Chaim Rosen had picked me up to do the voiceover when we had the next Bunny Island dinner. And the rest is history, really. That really was what propelled me into my career. It's interesting. I was actually interviewed by someone on who has a very well known LinkedIn member, a Miss Malia Feivelson, and we were talking about this, and it was an interesting point that she helped me bring out, is that we didn't have children right away as well. We Baruch Hashem, we have 6 beautiful children, and it was at the same time that it was very interesting that I had begun to get involved with Bnei Olam, volunteering to help them out, and at the same time I got involved in the voiceover industry, and the first voiceover industry I did was for Bnei Olam. So a lot of things were falling into place together, and that's where it started.
Wow.
And Baruch Hashem, I've done many various institutions. I'm also I'm that guy that's either known as, wow, what a voiceover, or him again? How many times a week can this guy disturb my supper? So great story, anecdote. So I walked into my house one day one evening after a long day at the office, and the phone rang. And I pick up the phone and I hear, "Hi, I'm calling on behalf of," and I slam the phone down. I'm like, "I don't even listen to any of this." And I stopped a second and I said, I just hung up on myself.
How many people get to hang up on themselves?
Yeah, it's
right?
amazing. It's great.
Wow.
What a feeling! I felt so good about it, But so that's that Baruch Hashem.
And then recently, you've done some small acting gigs before I discovered you.
Right.
And now Baruch Hashem, I'm saying,
well,
you're on some really big. You're on my 2 big films, which were
right.
bestsellers. Baruch Hashem.
There's Lakewood and Hollywood, and I'll settle for Lakewood.
What about Howellwood? That's not a thing.
What was your next question? That's just incidentally, just to mention what you said earlier. So I was in 2 Chafetz Chaim Heritage Foundation made for Tisha B'Av videos.
Right.
I was in a Chaverim video, and then obviously I was in 2 of your amazing videos.
And also you're on I hired you for 2 live streams that I did. For the BPJCC
right.
and for the
that's
HAS.
Right. We did together with Chaim, that's right, and there's Zalmi Berger and Chaim Perlowitz, Baruch's brother.
And then we did for the HAS thing with Arya Brownwitz.
Brownwitz was a lot.
And you were hired for the home show thing and for the game show for RCCS last year.
Yeah, that's right.
And we have your clips on going around on social media all the time, whether pro-masks or anti-masks. Or
I'm pro-life. I'm pro... Whatever floats your boat.
Gewaldig. So that now, how about we cut for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with more Yaakov Berger.
Hadar cheese. Don't mix it with Hadar.
No. We have our own commercial that we'll.
Oh, we do? Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So sit down there. We'll be right back with more Yaakov Berger. Welcome back. Now, Yaakov, you've been doing this for 20 years or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Phew. Can't imagine.
Yeah, you have no idea.
So, was there any like really big event that you've done, not I don't know, event or campaign you were part of, or something that you felt that really resonated with you, it's something that really touched your heart? Any big people that you've met? Let me hear. I'm saying you get to meet a lot of real chashuva people, stars, really big campaigns. Tell me in that industry, was there any any incident that sticks out?
No.
Nothing. This was supposed to be the whole next segment of the interview.
Oh man, I mean, Baruch Hashem. I mean, I really thank you Hashem for allowing me to be involved in this industry because.
Wait one second, my heart skipped a beat because this was supposed to be.
Next question, Your Honor.
No. Okay.
No further questions. I'm like Marana B'chaim Shida. Yes, no, Buha, Ula.
Buha, yeah.
That's it, finished. Speaking of Reb Chaim, to me, you're talking about meeting personalities. Baruch Hashem, I've been, like I said, I've been doing a lot of work, but I got to meet Shlomo Kanievsky. I did. That was a real major fundraiser. That was 2 years ago. I can't really pinpoint one particular thing because Baruch Hashem, I've done a lot of work. What was this past year at the whole with COVID and whatnot, so there was so much. There was so much virtual platform, virtual stuff going on, and my Baruch Hashem, my younger brother David, so he basically helped me up the ante, and through my LinkedIn account, I used to post on my LinkedIn account that I worked for this tzedakah organization, but it didn't really garner much attention. When we switched it up, that my first job would be voiceovers, all of a sudden it started taking off. Now, mind you, I don't connect with 30,000, 40,000, 50. I don't have that many connections.
Yeah, like 200, 300,000.
No. No. That, right, no. But the few thousand connections that I have on LinkedIn was something that really helped me meet so many people within the industry this past year. I don't want to name too many people because I don't want to take about any No, we knew each other.
Right, before LinkedIn existed.
You just got onto LinkedIn actually. You just needed.
I just
You just wanted because you wanted to advertise this for measures.
Right.
But people like I don't want to miss out on anybody, but Yo-Yo Trieger, who you know from Yeshiva.
Of course, Yerli.
Moshe Finkelstein, Moshe Niehaus.
Doing great stuff with Oldaf.
Yeah, with Oldaf.
And
there you go, Oldaf. That was a great.
Oh right, you did the Oldaf commercial.
Yeah, with Moshe Shender. That was a funny one. That was a cute one.
How about we play
Mandelbaum?
I think we should just play that Oldaf.
Be falling back.
Yeah, we have that over here.
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
I'm sure that Moshe can put it on. Moshe, could you get the Oldaf commercial with Yaakov Berger falling down? Let's get it on over here. So I'm assuming that was all done on green screen, but it's cute. It's very cute.
Who said? They provided me with towels. On green screen. You should also make that it was such an amazing video that he did that I had to. It was like it was on green screen, and I had I was in that position and I fell back, but I had to keep on looking at it over and over again. Like I couldn't figure out how they did it where it really looked like I was falling off of it. And
you weren't on a
I was
platform?
sitting flat. I was sitting on the floor. I just had my feet crossed together, like I'm in like a yoga position.
I can't do that anymore.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
I understand. I got it. Right. And I'm in a yoga position, and I like holding onto the safer, and just like holding my feet together, just fell back. But
and
how they created
like
that was really the truth is talking about voiceovers. So there are many different styles of voiceovers. I remember in my demo there was this. It's raining on Monday. It's snowing on Tuesday. I gotta get away. Whatever vacations, And then there's the Jewish Philanthropic Fund, meeting your everyday charity needs. that style. So what I'm trying to bring out is that in voiceovers, there are so many different styles. Obviously, you can't just be that. You can't be very linear. Not linear. That's the right word. Or monotone, or just
Right. This is my voice, and everybody
not
knows
the
it.
voice. No, the voice is the voice. There are different types of voices, but in terms of style, there's more. There are happier ones. There are more sad. There's more. Then there's the BMW 5 Series, the ultimate driving machine. That was something I did for my demo as well. But because most of my work has been for the From World, there's a typical style that you do. Working with people like Moshe Schindler gave me the opportunity in Oldaf, or he also did something for, I forgot what the name of the one of the famous companies that sell sukkahs. So we did something together. The Twins of France were on there, and I did also this quirky type of a voiceover. So that's the stuff that I enjoy all of them. I enjoy working for the tzedakah organizations. It's in and of itself, it's a very good thing, because if I'm able to inspire people. Like the Bani Olam video event that we were part of, Bani Olam, not video event, but the Bani Olam
the
event, live event.
where you did your voiceover of the Megillah laning.
That's right, which
very big voiceover.
And by the way, I'm still available to do that in one pasuk for Megillah. That's all I know. That's the extent of my Megillah laning. But I'm available for the next few years. I'm booked. I'm not booked. I'm available.
It's not even the full pasuk. The pasuk continues.
Right.
So just till Haman. Right. Just Achar Dvar Me'ela till Haman.
I didn't realize that in here. Okay, but we did this video for Bani Olam, and again, because I was personally involved with Bani Olam, helping them out and having gone through that experience, so there was a half-minute clip in which I shared a certain experience, and it was very impactful. I think it actually brought in a lot of money for them. But
that was on this Bnei Olam thing.
Yeah, for breaking the silence.
Your video that you put out.
But they actually interviewed me, and it's interesting because of all the a voiceover, a voice actor. That's really what it is. Kishmoy Kane Hu. You're not necessarily. I was interesting. I was taught that let's say you're a vegetarian, or you only eat dairy, and you're trying to do a commercial for a meat product. So how do you get yourself into the mindset of advertising a delicious hamburger if you're a vegan? You don't eat that. So in your mind, you're supposed to think of something that is really delicious that you like. Anything. I don't know, a veggie burger, let's say, or a tofu burger, but something that you really enjoy. And then once you get into that mindset, then you can sell that product, like that delicious something, because you're thinking, well, that's what acting really is. So, in most of the things that you're doing, you put yourself into that situation, even if you're not really there per se. I mean, you have to be there because you're selling the product to an audience that, they primarily just hear you, they don't see you. But this is a real interview. It wasn't just a voiceover for Bani Olam.
Right. It was an actual.
Yeah. It was personal to me and so on. But at any rate, yeah. So.
Perfect. Now,
carry on.
Now that we got to a place that you're not just a voiceover actor, Baruch Hashem, you do many. I don't know if you're a comedian yet. Would you go into that field of batchanis? What is a comedian called? Would you go into?
What's a comedian called?
Like the field of a comedian. What do we call it? Would you go into comedy? I guess, right?
Right. Usually that's what comedian comes from the word comedy. So that's probably what it is.
I thought that it was doctors that do comedy. I thought.
It depends if your name is Nemitsky or not. Oh no, I'm sorry. We don't. Oh, we do. We have dark humor. That's right.
Are you from Latvia?
Of course, I'm from Latvia. Well, what's the question? Are
you
trying
came
to
here,
insult me?
and you came here to live the American dream.
To live the American dream and earn big bucks, no less.
Of course.
For
those that didn't realize, those were some of Yaakov's lines, right? In Desperate Measures.
That was my persona. I'm really not a bad guy. Right?
You have a very difficult time.
Don't ask my wife and children if that's true, but I'm really not a bad guy. So by me, it's more of a spur of the moment type of a thing. I mean, I could be just walking around like an inspiration. Like, even though in the voiceover industry, it's not necessarily about animation and doing different voices, it's just taking your natural voice and using different expressions, like I mentioned earlier, whether it's happy, whether it's sad, whether it's pensive or thoughtful. That's just using the natural voice. but then there are also, you can go into different type of characters. And a lot of times, if a character comes to my mind, I'll just hit the recorder on my phone and just put it on there so I shouldn't forget that.
And that's precisely why the Desperate Measures, Skull of a Genius, why our production WhatsApp chat is riddled with voice notes and videos of yourself.
Of weird stuff, just like and really all the crazy stuff that we posted on that chat, a lot of it was just like spur of the moment stuff. I was just in Dallas for Pesach together with my family, and I bought a cowboy hat, and like it's very interesting that my understanding is that with actors in the world of acting, it's almost like when you put that costume on, you can actually fall into character. I sent a whole bunch of clips of me that I put that cowboy hat on, and it's like I see them like. Only you can prevent forest fires. And I really think that the clothing really does something when you do that. Actually it's funny because, Yosef Ginniger, who, Yosef was the main character in Desperate Measures. So, and he did a phenomenal job. And he actually corrected me when I put the cowboy hat the first time I sent out a video. So I didn't have that real southern twang. He actually told me how to correct it.
You gotta correct.
You have to let the twang, and then so which word you put the twang in and which, but it's a lot of fun. And listen, one of the things that's very important, and I know we're segueing from one topic to the next, we need to have a lot of simcha in our life. If it is one thing that this past year taught us, is that we don't have enough simcha. Because I rest assured that if we would have had more simcha in our lives, a lot of the anxiety and depression that we suffer through would not have happened. That was one of the, I don't mean to get too political here, that's not the point of this conversation, but we have to understand something. When you focus so much on the news, it's all about negativity. One of the great things that I loved about acting on The Skull of a Genius, acting on Desperate Measures, being together with people, I'm in an office the whole day, and Baruch Hashem gave me the schus of helping out people do tzedakah. But when we take this break and we're acting, and I'm meeting new people, and we became like a whole family, and new friends, a new family. It was such a breath of fresh air, and obviously we have to be serious here on set. You can't fump around half the time because we got to get things done. Half the
time we end up fumping if that's.
By the way, Desperate Measures when the DVD comes out, there's gonna be a double DVD. You're gonna have 3 hours of bloopers and like an hour and a half of the real thing. It's just that's just the way it goes. There's a camaraderie and there was humor.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It was so good to go through the year.
I still think that the best part, I'm actually going to put that clip on right now, was when you accidentally poked yourself with the needle just to show about the bloopers. We're going to cut to Moshe. Could you get that blooper on for a second?
And it takes time to get it. We don't have that much people, but we can work.
I got my finger that didn't. Whatever.
That was beautiful, though.
I thought that's part of it.
Back over here. So your finger's okay, right? I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we did. Okay.
Good thing I said ouch. Ouch is a good word. I actually think it was fun. I don't know if you remember this when during the shooting scene, which was a very technical scene. It was only a one-time shot. You had to throw the rock or something.
Right, I threw this big rock
at the same time. It's like, so what happened was we did that take, not the throwing, just the falling down all together. Me, my assistant, Sam, and Yaakov falling down to the ground. So at one point we kept on doing it so many times. It was 12:31, 2. I think we're still here. I think we're still in the studio. We're still filming.
3 o'clock in the morning.
We're still filming.
And I was so nervous because I had this metal thingy in my hand. I had to throw at the mirror, and I'm an okay baseball player, but far from a perfect pitcher.
And if you miss it and hit the wall,
I hit Yosef in the head. Yosef was standing right
that would have
here.
been so bad. I'm just kidding, Yosef, if you're watching this.
The truth is, we could have filmed it again from the other side. Get Yosef, even if he had like a big black and blue mark on this side, we could have just filmed it the other.
Hair. But
Baruch Hashem, we got it the first time the mirror didn't even crack. and the second time.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, that was just a very complicating scene.
Right.
But you were saying you rule.
Yeah. So we were we were at giddy hour, a late hour, another late hour, right? One of those
What's early hour?
The late night show with Boruch Perlowitz. You know, so that seems to be the story of Baruch's life. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually not kidding. So we fell down on the floor, and then it's like I had it, and like it was a serious scene. We're really filming, and then it's like I picked up my glasses and I had them hanging out like because we fell down because the bullet shot, and then Yosef looks at me and he just like lost it. I said, "Come on, that was such a great scene," and Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. This has been a really great opportunity, great ride, and with the Kodesh Baruch Hu's help, we're gonna do this many more times. We're gonna bring excitement and joy and kosher entertainment to you then across the world. Even though you're going to have the occasional, I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not sure if you're going to have that on the, okay, whatever. Moving right along.
Yeah, okay. And let me
By the
ask
way,
you.
I want to emphasize this point. In the world that we live in today, there is, listen, I don't have to tell you what goes on there. I mean, there's plenty of entertainment, plenty of stuff that, kids, adults can get their hands on. And I felt one of the most important things about producing films, and I know you agree with it, we've discussed this before, and films of high caliber, of high quality for the film world, is that, like, why do the kids, especially Cholamayim, especially when kids are off, midwinter vacation, summer break, whatever it is, let's provide solid, good, kosher entertainment so they could say, I don't have to watch the Goyish stuff out there. Let's watch this great, Jewish, kosher, solid entertainment. And that's really where we're at.
And I'll tell you like this, although, disclaimer, everything that I do, meaning in the world of entertainment, I'm a Rebbe also, but everything that I do in the world of entertainment is for entertainment purposes only, okay? That being said, I really try to make it extremely inspirational.
Right.
I was inspired to write this story, right, to make this film Desperate Measures, because of the teens that I work with every single day.
Sure.
And I already got back from a Rebbe in a big yeshiva that works also with teenagers, that the Bachrim over there were super mispal. And I like to keep things quiet. There were a few yeshivas that I actually sent the film to show it for the entire yeshiva, pro bono. I didn't charge them for it because I felt that would inspire them. And although I do it for entertainment purposes only, I don't just want it to be something silly, which I believe is also okay. Sure. I don't think that there's anything wrong with pure entertainment purposes, but I try to keep it inspirational. I try to do it right.
You want the audience to walk away with something. I feel like they're really, I mean, again, this is not a Desperate Measures interview per se, but spoiler alert, just I have to say.
Maybe we shouldn't do a spoiler alert.
Really?
Let's not do a spoiler. The film didn't
even a tiny, right, is that a tiny little thing?
All right, tiny little thing.
Without getting to that, I don't think people are going to cop unless you actually saw the movie. When Yaakov, runs out of said person's house, and his yarmulke had fallen off, and then he puts it on again. I can't tell you how many people have told me that the clapping
all over, and we filmed
that because the point of that was that he's having such a hard time, and yet, you know what? He took upon himself that he wants to keep the yarmulke on, and he goes back for it. He says, "You know what? I'm not going to let my miserable day affect the commitment that I made to come back to Hashem."
And that was a very chap scene. We filmed the yarmulke falling off, and then for a few seconds we focus on the close-up of the yarmulke.
Right.
Where Yaakov is not there.
Yes.
And at that point, everybody's kind of, so it's over?
Right.
All of his commitment to his father and everything's over because he had a bad day. And you see him coming back. And there's 3 seconds that he looks at his yarmulke for. And then he picks it back up.
Right.
Right.
So basically, if you know, you know. If not, we're just tickling you a little bit because Sukkot is not too far from now.
And if you figured it out, watch it anyway, right?
How?
Well, Sukkot.
Sukkot, yeah.
Right, yeah, Sukkot.
Of course.
So now, let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
You're extremely talented with your voices. I'm saying you could imitate anybody. And if we wouldn't be so short on the clock, I'm trying to keep a few people have said that we should try to keep the interviews a bit shorter. You could imitate just about any kind of character from any kind of character to that short and good old
Right.
right.
So you know what's interesting?
Dr. Skolovsky, not Dr.
Dr.
Skolovsky.
Dr. Midois.
No, I was talking about Borsa
Borsa.
in the Skull of a Genius.
Yes.
Just don't jump out the window.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you don't appreciate dark humor. Oh, that's for measures. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up my characters.
So you could, at what age? I'm assuming it just happened naturally that you realized.
You want to know something crazy? People think that I had been like, oh gosh, this guy was probably like the I can't imagine how many plays he was involved in camps. And
I would assume that, and I know you very well.
0. See that? That's a 0 right there.
Was it because in Tiferes Elimelech they were very, very?
No, I just not at all. At Tiferes Elimelech I went to Camp Clarina for Rabbi Wallerstein, but I was never involved in this type of stuff. Then I went to Camp Na'arim for a couple of years. Then I was in Camp Harim, which there's definitely ain't no plays going on in Camp Harim. It's a learning camp. That's when I went to. I was in Riverdale, so I went to learning camp, and it just the talent. I only had the opportunity to do this much later in life. I don't even know where the voices came from. I think just once I started getting more into acting, years later, that's where it started happening.
So when you were a Berger, when you were everything,
I was.
I'm sure you were a schmacky guy, but you weren't the star in every play.
No, I wasn't. That's the crazy thing. Yeah, it's pretty weird. And I guess what's happening now is that for years it's like pent up, just waiting to. And then you hear the angels are singing. He's here. He has arrived. He has come finally.
It is time.
It is time. It is time.
That was still, by the way, an epic scene.
Classic, yeah.
The It Is Time scene was in The Skull of a Genius.
By the way, but in terms of there are two different things. There's I can't even do a solid imitation of Donald Trump. Meaning I can hear Berger because I enjoy music and have a knack and have an ear for it. So you have to listen to them in order to be able to imitate them. So unless I really tune into it, I can't really do it off the cuff. But like I said before, character type, like Southerners. So there's the Texas type of guy, so I can talk like that. Let's say, that's not a particular individual. It's more of a character. Also, just going back to voiceovers, where you have to remember there are different pitches, different. You can do the southern drawl with a very deep voice. Or you can do something like this, like Moretti. I don't believe it. He's talking like me there.
He stole my bear.
Right. So you see, so even within the character, or I'm not again without imitating a particular person, just a particular type of character, a cowboy or whatever it is. There are different ways to do it. Then you could do an old cowboy also, I don't believe it. Those darn Indians. The Indians are coming back again. Oh no, get my shotgun. Right, so there you see that. That's like 3 different styles. And that's just
one
character.
Redneck, southern
or redneck, cowboy, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so whatever, Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. So it was later on, once you got into the voiceovers, that you realized that you
there's more to, yeah. Listen, even in the voiceover industry, my teachers told me that there's voiceovers, but even if you are to use different voices, you still have to train, because whatever training I took for voiceovers, that character still has to know the right way to do something. Like again, if I would use the example, why I said earlier, there's this famous commercial from Smokey the Bear. Smokey the Bear was a character that was talking about preventing forest fires. So there was that one voice. It was a famous actor that he does that. And there's a picture of Smokey the Bear, but his voice is, only you can prevent forest fires. But in that sentence, with voiceovers, it's not monotonous. Only you can prevent forest fires. Only you
can prevent forest fires. So there's a flow to it.
There's a flow. There's a science behind
There's
it.
a science behind it, and that, like for example, let's say you weren't in the room now. I'm going to turn around. I'm having a conversation right now, right? I'm sorry. What did you say? No. Look, just listen to me for a moment. Now, if you notice, who am I talking to?
You're talking to
You
my
have-
camera.
I'm talking to right. So I'm saying, but the point I'm trying to make is that you're talking to an invisible audience. So you have to have a dialogue, even though you're not having a dialogue. It has to come across like that. So there's specific training. I mean, it's not rocket science, but there's an interesting interesting science behind how it works.
Wow.
Different lessons, but yeah.
Let me ask you, Yaakov, as this interview we're running short on our time, is there any word of advice that you could give to an aspiring actor or voiceover actor, or just a piece of inspiration? You've been around, you've dealt with many great people, a word of inspiration.
So if there was one thing that I would tell your audience is that, and I see Berger myself, never underestimate who you are. Hashem has given everyone a particular talent. I can't go into every single industry. By me, Baruch Hashem, I discovered Hashem has been so good to me, and He allowed me to discover my voiceover talent and my acting talent. But there's no such a thing as a person that does not have any hidden talent. And utilize it. Utilize the kaiches that Hashem gave you. You have no idea where that will take you in life. And for certain, always thank Hashem. Thanking Hashem will bring you to such heights. It will make you feel besimcha. You will appreciate what you have in life, and Hashem will shower you a blessing when Hashem sees that you appreciate how much that He's done for you. But again, tap into your inner strengths, because everybody has that. Without a fail, everybody has something out there that they can grow from, they can use to inspire others, inspire their family, their friends, the world, and just go for it. Go for it.
Well, thank you so much, Yaakov, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Yaakov, you're an inspiration to the world. All your clips you send out, your voice notes, the amount of tzedakah you helped click, and of course the acting that you've done. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Moshe Grunfeld, our producer, for always...
Please, I need something to eat. Don't forget to call.
We have food upstairs.
911. Don't know how to locate me. Baruch.
Thank you, our producer, Moshe Grunfeld.
Baruch is great. Baruch is amazing.
Yaakov is the best.
Moshe, all you guys.
Everybody.
I love you guys. I love all of you.
And have a wonderful Shabbos, guys.
Wonderful Shabbos, everybody. Tzlacha bracha rabba meruba.